So April 1 is a big day for us. It's been 2 years since we've met in person at our Kingdom Halls. In fact, globally, our Kingdom Halls have been shut down since the early spring of 2020. Here in the United States since March 20th, 2020. So it's been quite a 2 years. And to now look forward to getting back to our meeting place, getting back to in-person ministry, in-person meetings, being able to be together as brothers and sisters again. We kind of feel like Paul did when he wrote to the Roman congregation in Romans chapter 1. And he wrote to them, he said, "For I am longing to see you," because he wanted to impart a spiritual gift, but he said, rather, there'll be an interchange of encouragement. And really, that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to get that encouragement because really, all of us need it right now, especially after 2 years of being virtual. When we first shut down our meeting places here in the United States, March 2020, I think it was a real shock to the system. I think many of us wondered, where are we going to go with this? How are we going to worship? How are we going to get together? I mean, we do 2 meetings a week. These aren't optional meetings. Jehovah's Witnesses take their meetings very seriously. It's sacred service. We're encouraged never to miss our meetings. It keeps us strong. It keeps us close to our Father and close to each other. And so in those first few weeks, I think it was dizzying. But, when the memorial came, which is our holiest day of the year, in early April 2020, and we were able to hold a global memorial online and invite, I think some 20 million people actually came to that memorial, we began to see this is possible. In fact, in 2 years, we've never missed a meeting. That's amazing. We've had 2 meetings a week. They've been discussion-based. We've seen more people. We've had more attendees than perhaps ever before. The average meeting attendance, each meeting during the pandemic from March to November 2021, has been 1.5 million. And the number of Jehovah's Witnesses in the United States is fewer than 1.3 million. So think about that delta, almost 300,000 difference of those who might be interested, those who have perhaps returned and reactivated themselves as Jehovah's Witnesses, those who have long since left the organization but come back, those newly interested. We have those who have come to become Jehovah's Witnesses, 400,000 over the course of the pandemic, some of whom have never seen the inside of a Kingdom Hall, have never knocked on a door, have never been to a live convention. That's March 2020, that was unthinkable. Today, it's not only possible, it's happened. And so what we've seen is spirituality is not about a building. Spirituality is also not about personal preference. Yes, we would have preferred over the last 2 years to be together. Yes, we would have preferred to be able to knock on doors. But we've grown despite that, notwithstanding our limitations. We have been productive, 77 new translations of the Bible in new languages in just 2 years during the pandemic. We've released them and distributed them for free to the world. We have spent 400 million hours in the United States from March 2020 to November 2021. Over 400 million hours writing tens of millions of letters, making thousands of phone calls, having virtual or video conferencing Bible studies. Jehovah's Witnesses have kept busy, and we have learned as an organization that despite this significant problem and crisis that the world faced, we can still thrive, not only as individuals, but as a global brotherhood, because that's exactly has happened.
So my next question has to do with the fact that you are reopening. The question becomes, why now? Is it because this is the special time for Jehovah's Witnesses with the memorial of Christ?
April 1 is a good time for us, and there's a lot of reasons. But first and foremost, we feel that it is time to be able to meet in person and also stay safe. We've learned a lot over the last 2 years. And what we can say when we look back and the wisdom of not opening too quickly is that we can say that over the course of 2 years, not one person has contracted the disease in one of our meeting places. Not one person has spread the disease through an in-person ministry, because both of them have been shut down. And so that makes us feel good, because when you think about other religious organizations, churches were opening in the summer of 2020. We thought that it was going away. We thought that the summer would perhaps we were at a nadir, and we thought maybe this won't come back. So many started up services. We didn't. I'm sure that it was thought about. But remember, in the fall brought us Delta. Delta was devastating and killed so many people, infected so many of our loved ones. And even among Jehovah's Witnesses, even though we weren't going to meetings, we still had a life. So thousands were sick, some died. And then again, we reached a nadir in the fall of 2021. And so what we did as an organization, and I think this was very, very wise, is we began to pilot in just some locations, just some limited congregations in Puerto Rico and Connecticut, where it was a low infection rate and a high vaccination rate. We piloted some meetings over weeks, and we learned what it means to do a meeting. And it taught us a lot of lessons. When Omicron began to rear its ugly head, we shut them down immediately and did not restart them. But today, we're in a different position, right? There's a high vaccination rate, especially among Jehovah's Witnesses. We know that masks work, and we know what the right masks are. We know that not all masks are created equal. We know how to deal with the disease. Our hospitals understand it. Our doctors understand the disease better. And there are also therapeutics to deal with the disease, so that if you do get it, vaccinated or not, it can reduce its severity on us to simply a sickness or maybe a mild flu. And so with all of that in mind, we recognize that there's still a level of danger out there, but it's mitigated by the personal choices that an individual is making. And we respect the personal choices that they make. So if they choose not to be vaccinated, they know what kind of other mitigating factors they have to take in order not to contract the disease. In fact, they will have an option not to go to the Kingdom Hall. They can stay home and they can use the video conferencing option. And that video conferencing option is very powerful, because our meetings are not lecture-based. It would have been easy for us to take 120,000 congregations and put them live stream them on YouTube. That would not have been a Jehovah's Witness meeting, because our meetings are interactive. We want to see and we want to hear our congregants. We want them to participate. And so April 1 is a beautiful time to really see what decision people are going to make. And those who decide to come back to the Kingdom Hall will have the pleasure of being able to see their brothers and sisters, their fellow congregants once again. A secondary positive point about April 1 is that it's our most cherished time of year. Now, it doesn't always come in April, but right around this time of year, we have two special global events as Jehovah's Witnesses. It's the most important moment on the Christian calendar, and that's, first of all, the memorial, the celebration or commemoration of the death of our Lord Jesus Christ. We call it the memorial or the Lord's evening meal. Some call it the Lord's Supper. But what we know about the Lord's Supper or Lord's evening meal was in Luke 22:19, Jesus got together with his 11 faithful apostles and said, when he instituted this commemoration, he said, "Keep doing this in remembrance of me." And Jehovah's Witnesses have been doing that and practicing that on an annual basis. Just before that, we always have a special lecture, global as well. And this year, the theme on April 10th, right before the memorial, which will be on April 15th, on April 10th, in most congregations, or the 9th, could be a Saturday, we will be having a beautiful lecture entitled, "Where Can You Find Real Hope?" And there couldn't be a better theme after 2 years in a pandemic when so many have been bereft of hope. and have lost their hope in the institutions that have served them well for many years, but have failed them over the last especially 2 years. And so this talk goes into some beautiful points about why are we suffering? Why does God allow it? What is the hope for the future, and why can we trust that hope, and what we can do about it personally? So we're looking forward to these two beautiful events, April 10th, April 15th, our special talk, our special lecture, and our celebration or commemoration of Christ's death on April 15th.
Will Jehovah's Witnesses be seen in neighborhoods anytime soon, going door to door?
At this point in the foreseeable future, we don't see a recommencing of the ministry yet, but that could come at any time. We're cognizant of one thing, however, that there is still a level of uneasiness in our communities, and that's understandable. So with our meetings, our congregants and our invited guests have a choice. They can choose to come or not. They can choose to come in person or stay on a Zoom platform. But when we go to somebody's door and we knock on it, we're not giving them the choice. We're knocking on their, and we recognize that some will be uneasy, and it may never be the right time to go back. We will certainly recommence our public ministry in the future, and for some it may never be the right time. But at this point, it doesn't seem like it is the right time for us to make that move. So it may be done progressively. We have not only shut down our knock on doors, but we also shut down our cart witnessing in the Buffalo City and on the rails and in areas, in communities around Western New York. But we also shut down our in-person Bible studies and our in-person return visits on people we know. So no doubt we'll progressively go back into the in-person ministry, perhaps starting with people that we know to visit them at their homes, which we aren't doing right now. Perhaps it's with the cart witnessing in the cities and the towns and villages. We'll see. That is yet to be decided. But for sure, the first beautiful step for us is getting back to our in-person meetings. It truly is a modern-day miracle to see an organization that has remained not only united, but we're closer than ever. To be able to say, okay, 120,000 congregations, shut down their kingdom, shut down their meeting places. Who can do that? And then to be able to come out of it and say, if you can restart your meetings, if government will allow you to do that, regulations will allow you to do that, go at it. And everybody is doing it. We're preparing kingdom halls around the world. We're cleaning them. We're equipping them with touchless faucets and with the right equipment that we need so that we can minimize any contraction of the disease. And you think about the work that's going in, the excited attitude that people have, the oneness. It reminds us of what Jesus said in John 13:35. He said, "You will know my disciples if you have love among yourselves." And that's what you're seeing today. You're seeing a miracle of unity, 139 lands, which because of love we have peace, because of peace we have unity. And the Bible says that love is the perfect bond of union. The other thing that has brought us together is going through this crisis together. You know, anytime you go to war with somebody and you're in a bunker with them, you'll never forget that experience. You're closer because of it. You know each other better. You've seen them under the worst conditions. We have seen our organization, our brothers, our congregations under the worst conditions that I've seen in my lifetime, the most challenging conditions. And we have come out better for it. And not only have we come out better, we've come out closer. Our bonds are stronger than ever. And I think that is a testimony to the kind of organization that we have and the kind of God we serve.
As you know, the world is so fixated on what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. Why is the message of this special talk really hitting home with people as they're thinking about war and their safety?
When you look at people around the world, not only in Russia and Ukraine, where there's and that that part of Eastern Europe where there is significant problems that they're facing. It's not just there that people have lost hope. It's everywhere. And it's in the most basic of institutions. We've lost hope in our government in many ways. We've lost hope in people. We've lost hope, many have lost hope in education, whether that's higher education. The institutions, many feel that like they've failed them. And so we need hope. You know, hope is what got us through this last 2 years. Hope is that light at the end of the tunnel that you know things, we're bad now, it's dark now, but things can get better. And so this is the most appropriate, whether there was war or not. War is making it all the more acute in our own mind and heart that we need to talk about this. Because man without hope is really someone who can lead to all sorts of things. A person without hope, it's a very bad place to be. And so being able to talk about this theme, explore it from a biblical standpoint, from God's standpoint, can hopefully engender a level of hope and that faith in that promise as people move forward. We want people to walk away from this special lecture and this special time feeling as if they can live one more day, one more week, one more year, as they hope things get better. That's our wish and our prayer.